Revealed, the incredible secret home I bought, where my daughter-in-law's hidden plot unfolded. James Callahan stood on the creaking porch of his newly acquired farmhouse, worn boards creaking underfoot like the weight of his decisions. The sun cast long shadows across the yard as he surveyed the landscape, bare fields interspersed with patches of wildflowers. It was a promise of peace away from the relentless pace of Chicago, a space where his family could gather, laugh, and create stories. Yet as he imagined their joyous reunions, a knot of unease twisted in his stomach. There were whispers in the corners, unspoken resentments he felt from Sarah, his daughter-in-law. More than once he'd caught her watching him with a gaze that was a mix of admiration and something darker. With each passing hour in the attic, sorting through century-old relics, the tension ratcheted higher. He fumbled through old boxes, rusty tools, moth-eaten quilts, until his fingers brushed against something unusual. A bundle of letters tied with frayed twine beckoned him. As he unfolded the brittle parchment, the ink revealed secrets he could hardly fathom. A familial connection to this land, Sarah's lineage intertwined with generations of hardship and prejudice. His heart raced as jagged memories of conversations with Mark came flooding back. Mark loved Sarah fiercely, but was blissfully unaware of the struggles that fixed her in place, struggles rooted in her troubled past. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. James felt a surge of protective instinct towards his son, yet the mounting weight of Sarah's discontent felt like a dark cloud looming above them. He could sense the animosity simmering just beneath Sarah's polite facade. In their interactions, he saw flashes of anger masked by strained smiles. How could he bring this woman into the family fold when her feelings of inadequacy cast such long shadows? With every letter he read, the tension grew, and with it, uncertainty gnawed at him. Just when he thought he might have a handle on it, the rumors began. Little whispers from neighbors claiming that the land wasn't just a simple patch of country charm, but a haunting ground for old grievances. A chance meeting with an elderly neighbor unveiled stories that sent ice through his veins, buried truths about ownership, injustice, and bloodlines intertwined with treachery. Standing amid the detritus of what they'd hoped to build together, James felt the foundation of his dreams shaking beneath him. What would his choice mean for Mark? Was it worth risking the love and loyalty he felt for his son? The air thickened with questions. The farmhouse, meant to be a refuge, felt more and more like a battleground. Would revealing Sarah's past mean losing the tender moments he yearned for in this new chapter? As he closed the attic door, all hope felt evaporated, leaving only a chilling realization: some secrets, if unearthed, could uproot everything they had tried to build. James paced the living room, his mind replaying the fragments of what he had uncovered. Did Sarah know the depth of her family's history? Did Mark? The weight of questions felt like a shackle, binding him to his thoughts, leaving him restless. He took a deep breath, trying to center himself. He needed clarity, yet the very air around him felt thick with complications.
With a surge of determination, James decided it was time to confront the uneasiness head-on. He directed his steps towards the kitchen, where Sarah had been busy preparing lunch. The smell of freshly baked bread lingered in the air, yet the aroma did little to soften the growing tension. A simple exchange of niceties would not suffice. He needed to ask her about the past, and the letters haunted every thought. "Sarah," he began, his voice carrying an edge of caution, "can we talk for a moment?" Her back stiffened at his tone, and she turned, her hands pausing mid-motion. "Of course, James. Is everything all right?" He shook his head slightly, already feeling the emotional walls barricading him off. They stood in the dim light, the sun filtering through flower-dusted windows. He could see her masking her apprehension with forced composure. The letters, the house, the past, all swirling like a storm inside him. "I found some old letters in the attic, about the land, about your family," he said, his voice growing firmer. For a moment, silence enveloped them, charging the atmosphere between them with an electric tension. "Those letters, they've been around for a while," she said finally, her eyes flickering with something he couldn't quite grasp. "Defiance? Regret? I didn't think you'd take an interest in them." James felt a mix of indignation and disappointment rise within him. "How could I not? This history affects everything, Sarah. It's part of your family. It's part of Mark's life now, too." Her expression twisted subtly, as if grappling with an internal conflict. "Sometimes the past is best left undisturbed. It doesn't change the present." James stepped closer, attempting to breach the flimsy barrier she was constructing. "But what if it does? Can't you see how important this is? What if it reveals truths that we need to face?" Her eyes darkened, revealing a vulnerability he had rarely witnessed. "You don't understand," she whispered fiercely.
Those truths are why I have fought so hard to move on. I cannot let this land or those memories define us. As she spoke, James caught a glimpse of the turmoil simmering beneath her surface. He recognized the weight of hurt she carried, but felt a swell of frustration rise within. He had spent years building his own legacy, and now he was being confronted with the reality that this seemingly serene farmhouse was a minefield of unresolved complexities. "Defining us? Sarah, we are not our past. However, if we ignore it, it festers." As the conversation escalated, James realized he wasn't just seeking understanding, he was pushing against a wall that had built up over generations. He was standing on the brink of uncovering a familial labyrinth, one that could either bind them together or tear them apart. The unsettling tension grew, and he internally registered the urgency of the moment. Would their different perspectives on unraveling the past allow them to create a future together, or would it fracture the fragile bond with his son? James felt the ground shift beneath him, yet was determined to take the next step. He had begun a dance with the truth and knew that the next move would require careful calculation. With a newfound resolve, he contemplated his next question. The heart of the matter remained entangled with deeper revelations. Would she have the courage to face it, or would he be left to navigate this hazardous terrain alone? A confrontational reckoning was imminent. As Sarah's silence lingered, James prepared himself for whatever might come next, knowing that this was only the beginning of a much larger confrontation. The walls of the farmhouse resonated with an undeniable urge for honesty. Would he find solace or devastation as he pursued answers in the shadows of their family's past? The tension in the kitchen thickened. A palpable charge hung in the air as James held Sarah's gaze, searching for any signs of weakness or understanding. The upcoming confrontation loomed larger in his mind as vast shadows danced between honesty and deception wrapped within their familial ties. He could sense her hesitance, yet he also recognized a flicker of resolve shimmering beneath the surface. "Why did you choose to keep this from me, Sarah?" he demanded, his voice threading tension into the quietude surrounding them. "You knew what those letters represented. If we are to build a future, we cannot leave the past suffocating us in silence." Her eyes narrowed, a mixture of anger and fear blending into a potent cocktail of emotion. "Because sometimes confronting the past does more harm than good. You think unearthing old wounds will lead to closure, but it can just as easily tear us apart." James stood his ground, but inside, conflicting thoughts raged like a tempest. He felt a profound sense of betrayal and disappointment that their relationship lacked this critical layer of honesty. He was no longer just a passive observer. He was invested in the fabric of their lives and their son's future. How could he map out a path without understanding the terrain they were on? "Investigating this history isn't about revisiting pain," he replied, trying to temper his impatience. "It's about understanding who we are. I won't accept that we should just pretend nothing happened. That isn't living, it's surviving." As he spoke, he could see the cracks forming in Sarah's defenses. The tightness in her posture relaxed slightly, though the shadows lingered in her eyes. "Living requires risks, James," she said quietly, her voice softened by vulnerability. "Embracing the past requires bravery, but I fear what it might lead to. I've spent so long rebuilding my life, and I don't want to tear it down." The contrast between her fear and his determination stirred something within him, an understanding of the delicate balance they were both trying to navigate. James could feel the weight of his own fears creeping in. Was he prepared to uncover the complexities that could unravel not just her world, but his as well? "I understand the stakes, Sarah," he countered, stepping into the breach. "But fortifying our lives with lies and omissions creates an unstable foundation. We won't truly know liberating ourselves until we confront these shadows." The map of their futures hung in the balance as he wrestled with the heart of his convictions. "Perhaps you don't realize the darkness you're inviting in," she whispered, her voice trembling. "What if the truths we find are far worse than you could ever imagine?" The question echoed hard against the walls surrounding him, and for a moment James faltered. The notion of hidden betrayals and buried family secrets painted a picture laden with humiliation and grief. He didn't want to obliterate their connection, yet the pursuit of knowledge now felt inextricably tied to their survival. "How can we know unless we risk it?" he murmured, the weight of their shared choices hanging heavy. Staying silent only allows that darkness to fester and grow. With a sigh that seemed to resonate deeply within her, Sarah finally relented, though her resolute remained shaky. "What if this changes everything, James? What if we realize we cannot move forward? What then?" James stood before her, heart racing with the realization that they were teetering on the precipice of a transformation that could bind them or drive them apart forever. The conversation had shifted. No longer were they just discussing the past, but now grappling with the contours of their shared future. "I don't know if it will break us, but perhaps it will reshape us. Isn't that worth exploring?" He searched her face for any sign of acceptance or retreat. Every part of him hoped she would choose the course of honesty, however terrifying it might be. The moment lingered heavily around them, a crucial crossroad extending in every direction.
A choice loomed, and James feared the repercussions of what lay ahead. As he braced himself for whatever shackles of darkness lay ahead, he whispered the question that had ignited his journey. "Can you face it with me?" Sarah's breath caught, the weight of impending revelations heavy in the air. This could prove to be the moment that would culminate in either clarity or devastation. Would they emerge stronger through their trials, or would this inquiry lead to an unraveling that was too deep to mend? As the silence stretched between them, tension coiling like a spring ready to burst, James felt a surge of determination. The uncertainty of what lay ahead was palpable, but it fueled him rather than cowered him. Each heartbeat resonated with a call to action that he couldn't ignore. He wanted to reshape not only their future, but also his own understanding of who he was becoming in the wake of these revelations. "Let's start with what you're afraid of," he said, his voice steadier now. "What could come out of this that terrifies you so much? If we dig deep enough, surely we can find not just the shadows, but also the light that must come with it." Sarah's eyes widened, and he noted the flicker of vulnerability there. It was a flicker he'd seen before, but this time it felt different. It wasn't just about her fears anymore, it was about their shared existence. He realized that in this moment their fates were intertwined more than ever. "Failure," she finally muttered, her features crumpling as she turned her gaze away from him, almost as if she needed to shield herself from further exposure. "What if I find out that the effort I made to build my life was based on lies? What if everything I've worked for is built on sand?" That was it, the unspoken fear that lay at the heart of her reticence. It was a fear James understood too well, the feeling of striving for something better only to find it was a mirage. He had battled with that same fear throughout his professional life, always striving for stability, which often felt so elusive. "Sarah, the truth is we've both built our lives on shifting foundations, striving for truth rather than perfection," James replied, gently urging her back into the conversation. "Facing our fears may not reveal the perfect life we want, but it will bring clarity, and clarity can empower us to act, to create something new." As he spoke, he felt newly inspired, compelled to confront his hesitations alongside hers. The thought crossed his mind that perhaps this journey of discovery would prompt his own personal evolution. He could embrace past mistakes as lessons rather than shackles. But would Sarah see it the same way? "Perhaps you want roses from ashes, but I don't know if I can stand the fire, James," she whispered, her tremor and her voice betraying her inner conflict. "What if I stood in the flames with you?" James offered, his voice firm with resolve. "What if the ashes, once cleared away, reveal something beautiful? We're both capable of more than running away from pain. We can only grow by facing it together." James watched as her expression shifted from trepidation to a glimmer of hope. This realization galvanized something within him, a sense of possibility that had been nearly extinguished by doubt. He began to see the contours of their relationship reshape like clay in skilled hands, ready to mold into something transformative. The gravity of their conversation pressed down on him, heightening his awareness. Would they emerge from this confrontation with newfound strength or fracture under the weight of their revelations? There was little room for retreat now. They had ventured too far. "Think about our son," James continued, his heart pounding in unison with every truth spoken. "He deserves to know who we really are. If we delve into those letters, into the past, it can only strengthen our foundation, not just as a couple, but as a family." The sound of her breath caught once again, a subtle reminder of the wall still looming before them. "I'm scared, James. What if our truths are unbearable?" James felt a deep, gnawing certainty welling within him. "What if they are?" His voice lowered into a solemn whisper. "But what if they lead us to a path we never imagined possible? The time has come for us to turn fear into resolve." In this shared moment of hesitation between love and despair, he sensed the fragility of their situation was eclipsed by an almost tangible resolve to engage. And just as he was about to delve further into their fragile future, the sound of their son's laughter broke through the heaviness, reminding them of what was at stake. "Let's take that first step together. We'll do it for him." James's heart raced at the thought of life stretching out before them, swathed in uncertainty, yet glimmering with potential. As they both turned to face the door leading to the world outside, James couldn't shake the feeling that the journey was only just beginning. Would his willingness to confront the shadows pave the way to a brighter vision of life for all three of them? And just as the idea coalesced into a plan, an unexpected knock echoed through the kitchen, sending a shiver down James's spine. Who could it be at this pivotal moment? Were they ready to face whatever came next? James stood frozen for a moment, the echo of that knock reverberating through his mind, drowning out the warmth of the connection he had just begun to forge with Sarah. Every instinct in him screamed for caution, yet beneath that instinct lay a fierce motivation, the desire to confront the obstacles standing between their aspirations and reality. "Do you want me to answer it?" he asked Sarah, who remained silent, her expression a mosaic of uncertainty and hope. "Yes, maybe it's just—" She hesitated, chewing on her lip before finishing. "Maybe it's something to help us." With a deep breath, James crossed the threshold from intimate conversation into the danger of the unknown, bracing himself for whatever lay beyond that door. Each step felt like a commitment to face not only the visitor, but the underlying truths that had poured forth in their dialogue moments earlier. He opened the door, revealing a figure who was both unexpected and familiar, his brother, Tom. The casual smile on Tom's face turned to confusion as he took in James' demeanor. "Tom," James replied, a knot tightening in his chest. "What are you doing here?" "Can I come in? It's kind of urgent," Tom said, glancing over his shoulder as if he expected someone to follow. James motioned for him to enter, still befuddled. The moment Tom stepped inside, the air felt thick with tension. The brotherly bond that once comfortably existed between them now felt frayed by years of unaddressed grievances and conflicts. He sensed Sarah's apprehension as she hovered just out of sight, unsure whether to emerge or retreat. "Is everything okay?" James probed, his heart rate accelerating beyond what he had experienced in that moment with Sarah. Tom shifted nervously, his hands digging into his pockets. "Not exactly. I wouldn't have come if it wasn't important. It's about Mom." James braced against the countertop, an unsettling wave crawling up his spine. Their mother was not a topic they discussed lightly, a specter haunting their shared past. "What about her?" "I found something. Letters. Things she wrote before her passing. They're not what you think. She wasn't the person we believed her to be." Each word he uttered struck James like a chord, vibrating with implications so profound they threatened to drown him. Questions surged through his mind. Who was their mother really? What hidden truths could he uncover? The quest for a clearer understanding of their past was colliding with the present, where they had just begun attempting to confront their own shadows. "Tom, this isn't the time for games. Whatever you think you found," James began, but the urgency in Tom's gaze cut him off. "I'm serious. You need to see these. It could change everything, James, for both of us. It's not just her life, it's what it means for ours, for Sarah, for our son." James felt the weight of his brother's words, colliding with the recent conversation about uncovering the past. He glanced toward Sarah, who had stepped into the room, her eyes wide with interest and fear. The unresolved tension that had lingered between their families now threatened to burst into the open in a very different form. "Together," he muttered, seeking a thread to pull Sarah back into the discussion, "we just agreed to embrace honesty. If it's about the truth—" As he spoke, he felt his foundations quake, but it was not a sense of fear, it was a surge of opportunity.
With each passing moment, he recognized the possibility that lay before him, to unveil layers of understanding, each thread woven intricately into their identities. It wasn't just the past that mattered, it was how they chose to confront it. "Let's see it," he said, a fierce determination awakening within him. "Whatever it is, we're going to face it together for the sake of our future." About to embark on this unexpected journey into family history and unravel the connections between the past and the present, James knew that everything was about to change. Would the revelations help fortify the new foundation he was building with Sarah, or pull apart the fragile threads of their renewed bond? As Tom began to pull papers from his bag, the anticipation weaving tighter and tighter, James felt a pit of uncertainty grow in his stomach. What shadows would emerge from this family reckoning? Would they rise stronger together, or would the weight of the truth shatter them? A hush fell over the room as Tom slowly laid the stack of yellowed letters on the table, each one a potential invitation to unravel the tightly woven fabric of their family history. James reached for the papers, feeling the ancient paper beneath his fingers, a physical embodiment of all the unanswered questions he had long tried to bury. "What do they say?" Sarah leaned in, her curiosity battling the apprehension that had settled over her like a fog. Her presence anchored him, reminding him that whatever lay hidden between these pages could either threaten their fragile relationship or transform it entirely. Tom shifted uncomfortably, the weight of years of repressed emotions crackling in the air. "I haven't read all of them yet. They were in a box in the attic. I stumbled upon them when I went back to help clean up. I didn't know what to expect, but, well, I think there are truths in there that could change how we see everything. Mom didn't just love us in her own way. She had a life outside of what she showed us." James' heart raced, a kaleidoscope of fears and anticipations rifled through him. Could this revelation reignite old wounds or lay a pathway for understanding? "Then let's read them together," he said, scarcely recognizing the resolve in his own voice. He reached for the first letter, his hands trembling slightly. The faded ink felt like a bridge to their past, fragile and dangerous. He unfolded it carefully, grateful for the moment of distraction from the growing tension. The words came alive, resonating with a weight that was both heart-wrenching and enlightening. "Dear Tom," he read aloud, the name bringing a wave of nostalgia. "If you're reading this, then I'm no longer here. I hope you and James can bring peace to one another." Each sentence was a revelation of regrets, of unrealized dreams, and layered with an honesty that felt foreign, yet comforting. James's pulse quickened as he absorbed the essence of their mother's regrets.
The missives painted a portrait of a woman torn between familial obligations and her own lost aspirations. The more he read, the more he began to recognize the parallels between her struggles and his own. Sarah's gaze flicked from the page to him, a silent question hanging between them. What does this mean for us? Mom had secrets, Tom murmured as James continued reading. Do you think she wanted us to find these, to finally understand her? What if she never intended for us to? James pondered aloud, an unsettling truth creeping into his thoughts. What if she wanted to protect us from knowing? The room fell quiet, the implications of their mother's choices resonating deeply. With every word, James felt the walls of his own barriers begin to crack, exposing vulnerabilities he hadn't wanted to confront, his fears of inadequacy, of failing Sarah and their son. Maybe this is about more than just her, Sarah's voice broke through his reverie, soft yet firm. Maybe it's also about what we're willing to face together, to confront the things we hide from each other. This could offer a new path. James nodded, her insight igniting a flicker of hope in his heart. They stood at a crossroads, both terrified and exhilarated by the promise of transformation. Could acknowledging their family's hidden truths empower them, or would it throw them into turmoil? As Tom sifted through the remaining letters, James felt a pang of resolve building within. They were stepping into a legacy far from the sterile images they had painted of their upbringing. This revelation could either shatter their current lives or solidify their bond into something unbreakable. "What do we do now?" Tom asked, uncertainty reflecting in his eyes. For the first time in years, James felt a surge of clarity, a recognition that embracing the uncomfortable stories of their past could forge a stronger connection to the present. "We read them together," he answered, determination spilling over into every syllable. "And we talk about everything, our fears, our futures." With the letters before them, James sensed that this journey into vulnerability could redefine them, possibly leading to mending broken ties and rediscovering unspoken love. He was not just confronting his past, he was setting the stage for a future he could build with Sarah, one rooted in honesty and strength. As the remnants of their mother's words filled the air, James felt the atmosphere shift around them. Questions loomed like storm clouds. What else did these letters contain? What life lessons would surface, interconnected in ways he could hardly fathom? With truth on the horizon, it was time to confront all that had defined them before. Would they rise to the occasion and embrace the revelations ahead? Or would the shadows of yesterday drag them back into the abyss of unfulfilled potential?
The unseen forces threaded through the letters awaited them, promising discovery, growth, and perhaps an unsettling reckoning. James paused, the letter still cradled in his hands, both the words pulsing with meaning and the silence around him heavy with unspoken fears. What did it mean to understand? Did it imply acceptance, or would it simply highlight their family's unrelenting dysfunction? He could feel the shapes of old traumas shifting in his mind, casting long shadows over what had once felt like solid ground. "Let's move on to the next letter," Tom urged, the determination in his voice a thin veneer over the angst that simmered underneath. James exhaled slowly, the reality of their mother's duality, the mother they idolized and the woman with aspirations beyond family, reinforcing the walls around his heart. Could he find a way to reconcile these two disparate images? Hesitating, he picked up a second letter. "Dear James," he read, his voice barely above a whisper. "If you're reading this, then I hope you have found peace." The words unfolded like petals, each one revealing layers of her anguish, longing, and her own insecurities in raising them. As he absorbed the details, memories of his own missteps, the moments he had felt unworthy, flooded back. The longing to be a good father, the gnawing fear of inadequacy surged forth. He had projected his insecurities onto his own family, fearing he would replicate his mother's mistakes. Tom's fingers lingered on the edge of another letter, his expression a mixture of eagerness and dread. "You think she knew it would come to this?" he asked, glancing sideways at James. "That we would be here, reading her words, struggling with our own paths?" "Maybe she wanted to show us we're not alone," Sarah interjected, her tone gentle yet insistent. "These letters, they're not just about her, they're about us too, our choices, our fears. We're not simply living in her shadow, we're forging our own identities through what she struggled with." James looked at her, the realization dawning that her mother's flaws had been an unintentional mirror reflecting their own vulnerabilities. For the first time, the words felt consequential, a roadmap to navigate through those uncomfortable moments he had avoided for so long. He closed his eyes, envisioning his own upbringing, the silent battles fought behind closed doors. In doing so, he began to glimpse not just his mother's sorrows, but those of himself and his family.
He had spent years denying the truth that pain and love could coexist, that their paths could be illuminated by the very shadows they feared. "Let's read the next one," he found himself saying, louder now, more resolved. "Let's not let our past define us. It's time we rewrite the narrative together." He could see the relief that washed over Tom and Sarah, their shared determination creating a palpable energy in the room.
They arranged the letters more deliberately, a commitment to dig even deeper into their family psyche. Each letter turned now symbolized not only revelations of their mother's life, but a chance for understanding among them. As the next letter unfolded, revealing poignant thoughts on love lost and choices made, James felt a shift within. Would confronting these truths help him develop a clearer sense of self? His heart began to race with possibilities, the chance to forge stronger ties, not only with his past, but with the future he envisioned for Sarah and their son. "Did you feel that?" Sarah asked suddenly, breaking the reverie. James looked to her, sensing a shared recognition of the growing bond forming between them. He rubbed the tender crease between his brow, wondering if he was finally stepping into the person he wanted to be, one who embraced authenticity. But as the next letter landed on the table, a rush of self-doubt came crashing over him. What if facing these truths pulled them to the brink of revelation, only to send them spiraling back? With the uncertainty thick in the air, they plunged into the next letter, the urgency of this journey to discovery marking the beginning of personal growth. What unexpected truths awaited them in the letters yet unturned, and would exploring their past truly forge an unshakable bond, or shatter them into irreparable pieces? James flipped the letter open, his hands trembling slightly. The paper, worn and yellowed, echoed with the sound of their mother's voice. "Dear children," it began, each word layered with years of regret, hope, and introspection. "I've been thinking about my choices, the paths I've taken, and I realize only now how they've affected you." As he read further, he felt an electric charge. Their mother had woven her own struggles into her narrative, a tapestry of bravery and vulnerability. She narrated moments of failure, revealing a side of herself he had never noticed, buried beneath the facade of an idealized matriarch. "Can you believe this?" Sarah whispered, her eyes shimmering with both disbelief and understanding. "She wants us to know she wasn't perfect." James nodded slowly, her confession igniting a flicker of warmth in his chest. She hadn't just surrendered, she had fought. Each revelation tore down a different wall he had built around himself. Each regret she expressed mirrored his own anxieties of being a husband and father. "I spent so many years assuming I had to guard our family from my own shadows," he admitted, his voice thick with emotion. "It's easy to blame silence when really it's the fear that binds us." Tom leaned in, his curiosity piqued. "What are you thinking, James?" I think it's time I confront my own failures. I need to acknowledge them, perhaps let them go," James said, surprised by his certainty. "These letters, she's not just revealing her struggles, but giving us permission to be flawed too." With each letter opened, the air shifted, and the truth dripped like honey, sticky yet sweet. Reading about their mother's attempts to balance dreams with family carved a space for James to reflect on the weight of his own ambitions. Had he been seeking perfection all along, afraid to embrace the messy reality of life and parenting? "I don't want to keep punishing myself for my mistakes," he found himself saying, the words flowing freely now. "It's like I've been treading water, thinking I should never drown. But perhaps I need to learn to swim despite the waves." Sarah shifted in her seat, her expression grave yet fierce. "It's more than that, James. You have to make a choice. You can't hold on to these fears and hold your family together at the same time." For the first time, he examined his relationship with Sarah and their son not through the lens of his upbringing, but as a canvas where he and Sarah both could paint their own joys and missteps. He opened his mouth to reply, but instead the tremble of uncertainty returned. What if he dropped the past but couldn't grasp the future? In a burst of courage, he said, "How do I translate all of this understanding into action? I don't even know where to start." "Perhaps we start by embracing our faults," suggested Tom, his voice steady, echoing confidence. "Let's turn these letters into a guide, show our children that love exists alongside flaws." The moment ignited something crucial within James. He felt the weight of responsibility shift from an oppressive burden to a liberating challenge. He could take steps to break the cycle of fear, transforming the legacy of silence into one of openness and understanding. "And what if we make our own letters?" Sarah added, "to document our struggles, our successes. Let's build a collection outside of this one." She gestured towards the pile. "The letters won't just belong to her. We tell our truths too." James's heart raced as he processed the idea, the darkness of his past illuminated by the hope of shared vulnerability. They could craft a narrative together, one rooted in honesty. But a voice inside him whispered trepidation. Could he remain open amid the uncomfortable truths? What if they ventured too deep, unearthing scars too raw to heal? Just as he began to respond, the door creaked, and in rushed the echo of footsteps down the hall, an unwelcome interruption heralding the tension that loomed. "James!" their son's voice echoed as he appeared, the innocence of his gaze contrasting sharply with the heavy emotions lingering in the air. "Can we go to the park?" James glanced back at the scattered letters, feeling a precarious balance between past and present. "Of course," he said, forcing a smile that felt both genuine and strained. Today was merely one part of a long journey, and, like a compass broken yet still spinning, he had to find the right direction.
As they stood to leave, uncertainty settled in. What truth lay beneath the surface of this journey? Would the park offer clarity or further confusion? With the weight of connection growing and conflict pulsing beneath the surface, they stepped into the unknown together. At the park, the vibrant green of the grass contrasted sharply with the heaviness that hung in James's chest. He watched his son chase after a swarm of butterflies, his laughter blending with the distant sounds of other families enjoying the sunny afternoon. Each giggle felt like a bittersweet reminder of his own childhood, shrouded in uncertainty and the silent battles his parents had fought. James sat down on a bench, the rough wood cold against his fingertips. He stared at the chaotic beauty unfolding before him. Was he destined to let the same shadows loom over his son's life? The choice to change spiraled in his mind, but the how remained elusive. "Do you want to play?" Sarah's voice startled him from his thoughts. She was standing beside him, a playful grin illuminating her face. "Of course," he replied, forcing an enthusiastic smile as they joined their son. For that fleeting moment, he let the burdens fade, focusing instead on the delight of the chase, the innocence of laughter, the straightforward joy of living in each second. But as the hours melted away, the anxious questions crept back in. What did he really want to teach his son? The assurance of love? The strength in vulnerability? But how could he embody those lessons when his own insecurities felt so profound and unresolved? "Hey, let's take a break," Sarah called out after a while as their son plopped down on the grass, red-cheeked and breathless. "I think we all need some water." As they settled on the blanket, Sarah caught James's forlorn expression. "What's weighing on you?" she asked, not needing to push too hard. The concern in her voice sparked something in him, an impulse toward honesty that had been dormant for far too long. "I think think I'm terrified, Sarah," he admitted, watching his son meticulously examine a flower. "I'm scared that no matter what I do, I'll fail him, like I feel I've failed so many others." Her gaze softened, extending a lifeline. "Failure doesn't define you, James. It's how we pick ourselves back up that really matters. Remember how our mother faced her struggles? She fumbled through life and still gave us so much love." He inhaled deeply, her words echoing against the backdrop of the day. Perhaps all those years spent feeling like he was merely treading water had obscured the fact that he was, in fact, swimming, struggling yet learning, evolving through every current that threatened to pull him under. "Maybe I learned to be a better parent from my mistakes," he murmured as epiphany washed over him. "And if I own my past, it might transform into a guiding force rather than a weight." The idea sparked a new determination.
"I want to write my own letter," he declared, the words emerging with unexpected clarity. "Not just for me, for us, so our son knows that it's okay to stumble, to feel afraid. There's strength in vulnerability." Sarah's face lit up, her enthusiasm infectious. "That's a beautiful idea. Let's carve out time this week to start. We can draft our letters together." The enthusiasm felt liberating, yet daunting. What new chapters awaited them, and were they prepared to pull back the layers of their own lives for understanding? As they returned their attention to their son, the weights of past and future intermingling, James swelled with a mixture of excitement and dread. "Hey, what if we promise each other to share our progress?" Sarah prompted, nudging him playfully. "No more hiding, just the three of us, making promises and sharing truths." James's heart raced at the thought of everyone's truths laid bare. What if it unleashes shadows we're not ready to confront? He questioned, a sense of trepidation creeping in. "Then we face them together," she replied, her voice steady and unwavering. Facing their fears took on a new meaning. The morning might have left him with uncertainty, but now an unfamiliar sense of clarity seeped in. As night fell and they wandered home, a whirlwind of emotions swirled within him. Each step echoed with the promise of a new path. Each moment threaded together their resolve to embark on this journey, not just as individuals, but as a family. Yet one question loomed larger with each passing minute. What hidden truths awaited them, and how would they navigate the raw honesty that lay ahead? James Callahan stood in the kitchen of the farmhouse, the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the last remnants of the afternoon sun. He felt lighter than he had in years, not because of any physical transformation, but due to the unfolding realization of what he was capable of when stripped of pretense. The letters had indeed served as a catalyst, drawing him into the depths of his family's past while pushing him toward a resolute future. With Sarah beside him, each began to draft their own letters. It was their promise to remain open, to reject the silence that had gripped their families for generations. He wrote with clarity, each word less about fear and more about empowerment. "Dear son," he began, "I want you to understand that vulnerability is not a weakness, but an invitation to embrace your true self. We all stumble, but that's where growth thrives." The kitchen, once a battleground of secrets, transformed into a sanctuary of honesty. James reflected on the letters not as relics of sorrow, but as invitations to flourish. He acknowledged mistakes, allowing his truths to redefine his role as a father, a husband, and an individual. Days turned into weeks, and they continued to share their progress. They started conversations that had long been avoided, confronting their fears within the framework of familial support.
One evening, as they gathered around the dinner table, his son asked a question that struck James like a revelation. "Dad, what do you fear most?" Before, he would have evaded such inquiries, cloaked in a fear of vulnerability. but now he welcomed it. "I fear not being enough for you. It's taken me a while to understand that it's okay to make mistakes." He saw Sarah's eyes light up, as if a weight had been lifted from them both. Their son listened intently, blissfully unaware of the enormity of the moment. "But it's okay to not be perfect, right?" he replied, his tone laden with innocence and understanding. "That's right," James affirmed with a smile, solid confidence weaving through him. "What matters is that we learn from our experiences." At that instant, everything aligned: his past, his presence, and the future he was building with his family. Their connection grew deeper, peeling back not only their own layers, but also allowing their son to express his insecurities and dreams. No longer were they haunted by the shadows of silence, but embraced by the light of communication. Each acknowledgement opened the door to new discussions, new realizations. In the following weeks, something else changed within James professionally. The courage he cultivated at home seeped into his work life. He decided to advocate for more transparency and communication among his team, fostering an environment where vulnerability was valued. The results were palpable. His colleagues began sharing innovative ideas and concerns openly. One day, as the office celebrated success from a project built upon teamwork and creativity, his boss praised James publicly. "Your leadership and encouraging transparency has transformed our work culture," she remarked. Her words ignited a deep satisfaction within him. He had faced his personal challenges head-on, and now he was witnessing the fruits of those challenges ripple into his professional life. The once insurmountable weight of anxiety had evolved into recognized competence and established authority. As the sun set on that day, James reflected on the journey that had unfolded. He felt a mix of gratitude and pride, not only for the relationship he had forged with Sarah and their son, but also for the growth he had achieved within himself. No longer did he feel burdened by the past. He was free to shape his future. Standing in the same kitchen where moments of tension once brewed, James found solace in the affirming experience of unconditional love and authenticity. Never again would he shy away from truth. It was now his foundation. This was not merely an achievement, it was a commitment to continue evolving, embracing the ever-expanding capacity for growth and fulfillment that emerged within the open spaces of honesty. The letters had served their purpose, but their legacy, it would live on through new narratives that James was ready to write. If you too feel inspired to confront your past and build a future grounded in truth, you need to subscribe now to our channel. This is the moment to show your support for exclusive stories that empower transformation. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us reach more seekers of personal growth. Comment your reactions and thoughts on this journey and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second.